Welcome. The other day I was talking with a comedian friend, actor. He's mainly an actor by the name of Tim Hildebrand. He played Vladimir in the movie Sleeper Agent, in my movie Sleeper Agent.
What is he talking about?
It's a promotion.
And we were talking about some gigs we used to do together. And one particular gig was in St. Paul, Alberta. And this is the story of the St. Paul, Alberta gig. And it's a rough one.
I tell him stories about you.
So Tim was he was opening for me. He was doing about 20 minutes. I was doing like an hour and a bit. Yeah, I think we had an hour and a half to cover in the contracts that we did.
What are we talking about?
The only instruction I had from the promoter was it's at the hotel bar in St. Paul, Alberta. Small town. Figured there's probably only one. Well, we went to I think there was 2 or 3 in the town. No posters, nothing anywhere.
Nobody cared. Nobody showed.
I'm like, where is this gig? Is it tonight? Is it another? I got the wrong month? Like, what is going on? So I circle back to the original St. Paul hotel.
We tried to keep it as close to the original as possible.
And I go into the bartender there and I'm like, hey, do you know anything about a comedy show happening? And he was so nonchalant. He was like, yeah, it's here. It is here. It is here. Okay. Okay, well, I didn't see any posters. Like, there's no marketing whatsoever of tonight's show. And he was like, okay, all right, so we're the comedians. Like, it was just like the most bizarre, like, you don't want anyone to know that we're here?
Why would anyone say that?
My job is just to bring the jokes. You do what you want with your business, buddy. I had a bunch of VLTs in the bar, video lottery terminals. So those are like, if you've ever been to a casino, the little ching, ding, 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 right?
Am I supposed to know what that is?
I just give you a sound effect. I'm not good with words, okay? No, I need to get a thesaurus or something. So let me just do sound effects for you. How about that? But anyway, a lot of VLTs, a lot of people playing during the day. There's a little dance thing and a little stage. So I was like, okay, well, that's the layout of the land. He said, okay, let's get you hooked up in your hotel room. Perfect. So we go to the lobby and he sends this girl up to go get us our keys or, just make sure the rooms are unavailable or whatever. Again, there's not very many rooms in this hotel. It's not used a lot as a hotel.
Apologize for the inconvenience, Leland.
So as Tim and I are standing there, she comes down and whispers into the guy's ear as he's standing there talking to us. She's like, and he's like, and then he sends her off again. So she takes off. I was like, well, that was kind of weird. A couple minutes later, 5 to 10 minutes later, she comes back down again and she's like, and he's like, I hope I'm giving you guys enough to understand the story.
A master in storytelling.
Anyway, she leaves. So he turns to us and he's like, well, I guess we can't get the rooms clean enough. What? What does that even mean? To this day, I still don't know. I feel like I should have inquired, but I didn't really want to know.
The facilities are adequate, Leland?
I don't know what it was, but he couldn't get the room clean enough. So he knew contractually he had to give us a room. So he was like, I'll send you to the hotel across town. We go get checked in there, come back. We had sound gear. It was one of these places where you had to kind of just bring your own gear and stuff. So we unloaded, set it all up for the show. But we could both tell, Tim and I, that it was like, I don't think this is going to be the greatest show.
He is exactly what we need.
Now they had music playing, and there was right before we started, there was this couple kind of slow dancing, drunk and slow dancing on the dance floor in front of us. And come showtime, lights come on, show starts, and they're just like, "What's going on?" They don't know what's going on. They were there to dance.
None of us got the time for this.
And now somebody's talking, and they don't quite understand what the people are saying that are talking because they're too drunk to comprehend. And that was at the beginning of the show. I think the VLTs were still on. Ding, 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 ding. Like people are still...
I still don't know what it means.
Some people are still playing in the back. And I said to Tim before he went on, he'd been doing about 20 minutes for me. And then, like I said, I was doing an hour and 10 or whatever. We were covering an hour and a half. And I said to him, look, if it gets rough, because we could both tell it was probably not going to be the greatest. I'm like, if it gets rough, just cut her short and just send me up. It's fine. I'll handle it from here.
I don't think anyone will notice.
So he gets up there. We were just talking about this the other day because he said, I only did 10 minutes? And I was like, no, you did a half of a joke and then just bailed. He got up there, hey, welcome to the show tonight. And this is our headliner is Leland Klassen. He's going to come a little later. And then he started to do a one joke, I think. And then he was like, okay, headliner time. It wasn't even 5 minutes. I was like, oh, come on, man. So he brings me out, and I get up there, and I'm like, okay, well, it's time to bring this crowd around.
That's pretty arrogant, considering the company you're in.
There wasn't a ton of people there, but the people that were there specifically to be drunk and dancing. And this one lady in particular was just really upset that we had taken away their dancing. And so she started to talk, she was talking to me. Why did you just turn on? Can you turn on the thing from there? She's like, is this a mechanical issue? Is that why? Is it a technological thing that you can help fix so we can get the dancing back? I'm not making an announcement why the music got turned off. I'm up here trying to do a comedy show. So she started to say, she was finally just started to just get off the stage. Just get off the stage. She just kept repeating this. So finally I said to her,
you're my hero.
I'm doing a little something here called contractual obligation. I need to fulfill a certain amount of time up on stage. Once we get to that point, once that hour and a half is done, I don't want to be up here any more than you want me to be up here. I remember saying that to her. I was like, I'm in total agreement with you. If you're heckling, I'm like, yeah, I'm with you. This is a terrible idea. So I basically said, listen, let me fulfill my time up here. When it's done, we'll turn the music on. We can all dance again and have a great time.
That would never happen.
Meanwhile, why don't you listen to some of the jokes and you might enjoy the time and it'll go faster. And she's looked at me for a second and she was like, just get off the stage. She just could not comprehend what I was saying. She was just too drunk. And I remember it started to, you never want to blame the audience. It's on me. It's my fault if the show's not going well.
There's always a but.
But I don't know what much more I could have done. If you're going to heckle me and you don't think it's funny, that's fine. But wait till I get to the punchline. We're still in setup here. And you're telling me it's not funny. It's like, no, setup's not supposed to be funny. It's supposed to set up. I'm just getting so frustrated. I agree with you that the setup should be as little as possible with the information that you need, and then punchline. I'm all about that. I've been trying to refine my act for a long time. But you got to give me more than 3 seconds of your attention span.
That's asking a lot.
And she just couldn't, and it started to get a little bit I may not have been nice to her after a while. I remember because I looked over at Tim. I had forgotten about this, but I looked over at him and I was like, you got my back? From stage, I'm like, you got my back? If something goes wrong and we got to fight, have you got my back? And I remember the look on his face. He looked over at me and he was like, yeah.
Are you serious?
But he was so not enthused. At one point in time, this guy started just from the back, just started to slowly walk towards the stage. Just huge guy, 350 pounds, I don't know, 6'5", just solid, and just kind of slowly started to walk towards the stage. And all you could hear was some guy going, Archie, don't do it. Don't do it, Archie.
All I'm saying is, the Archie I saw last night, he's dead.
So we finished the show. I mean, I got my obligated time in. We turned the music back on, and she got back to dancing, and she forgot about me soon after. Although we had ruffled enough people up, probably Archie as well, that when we were doing loadout, we were taking our sound equipment out. They actually had somebody guard the outside the door and us, just to make sure we didn't get jumped.
Showbiz talk.
Because we did not make a good impression. But I remember that night talking to Tim. in the hotel room because he just bought us one room. We actually went to the other hotel, stayed there, and they had karaoke in their like hotel lounge. So we were like, let's do some karaoke, and great crowd there for the karaoke. I wanted to do a little stand up. It was going so well.
Why comedy? Can't you sing?
So I was talking to Tim, and I told him the same thing about, you get on stage as much time as you can. Get on stage. Stage time's so important. And I remember him saying to me after, he's like, so was that stage time worth it? And I was like, well, no, it wasn't. It's totally not worth it at all. I barely made it out of there alive. I told you stories about bears and other things like that. This one, I think, was closer to death than any of my other stories. But anyways, subscribe below, hit the notification bell. We got more stories always coming.